okay. I'll be okay. I'm durable.
Just like run into your mouth.
Actually.
Mr. Redbone!
Hello and welcome to Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker, the host of our program. Red Barn Radio is now in its 18th broadcast season, and tonight is our 692nd live performance. Following many weeks of stay-at-home and distancing restrictions, the Performance Hall at Arts Place, we're glad to say, is again available to us, and we're very glad to be back with you. To keep our staff and our musical guests safe, we will continue to abide by state and local guidelines concerning cleanliness and personal protective equipment. And for now, our Wednesday performances will take place without an in-studio audience. We are pleased as punch to have back with us on Red Barn Radio a terrifically talented trio from Louisville, Kentucky. Taylor Shuck is on banjo, Isaac May on guitar, and Ellie Miller on violin. Please welcome Hillhouse to the Red Barn stage.
1, 2, ready, go. I thought I'd put one foot in front of the other and run. Run, run, run until all these things were undone. But I can't hide, you knew it just one glance. You figured me out, I didn't want to say the words. But if I pushed you away, thrown you out my door, we'd have more words to say. We could have had it any other way. Ooh, doesn't matter much what I think or feel anymore. You felt a passion, you told me my eyes wanted more. Oh, comfort is easy, love is so hazy. I can't remember the last time I daydreamed. Would you like me still? And if I told you my heart, it wouldn't have been that hard. Looking back, I know I would have done it any other way. Ooh, figured it out, I don't need saving. It's too bad your hero could use a win. About this damsel will tear her own walls down. Her golden hair could use a little gray now. Would you like me still? Would you like me still? Ooh, it's okay, I'll sleep alone. I've always liked to sleep alone. Ooh,
Good evening, and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to the music of Kentucky. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. Lex Arts, Lexington, Kentucky's Arts Council, creating a great American city inspired by the arts. Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta on Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky. Broussard's is on Facebook. And AccuPrint, providing printing, design, and fulfillment. Online at accuprint.us. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter, and hopefully like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
On the Red Barn stage tonight is Hillhouse. This trio brings to listeners a mix of sounds and rhythms blended with authentic takes on bluegrass and songwriting in the tradition of Nickel Creek and so many others who have enlivened the Kentucky music tradition for new audiences. They've got a brand new album. We're looking forward to talking about that. Please welcome Hillhouse back to the Red Barn stage.
Right, that last song was called Sleep Alone. That was written and performed by Ellie. That song, along with this next song, Paper Wings, are both going to be on our upcoming album, which we'll be talking about here in a second. This one's called Paper Wings. Man, you know he made the sky. Man can walk, but only gods can fly. The ocean's deep and the valley's wide. If I had wings, I'd see the other side. My mama said you'll be a man someday. Gonna spread your wings and you'll fly away. Always did what my mama said, and I've got this fever burning in my head. So I put on my paper wings, and I'll climb up on that hill. Feel the blood flow through my veins, and I smell the daffodils. Watch the buzzards flying high, and today the world will know that I'm the boy that flew paper wings. Throw my penny in a wishing well. Send me to heaven, Lord, and not to hell. It's what I do, what's meant to be done. Rather make my own than to settle for none. Some are born to dig coal, others born hammer steel. That don't explain the things I feel. 'Cause I'm jealous of the sun, and I'm jealous of the moon. If I get my way, I'm gonna be there soon. So I put on my paper wings, and I climb up on that hill. Feel the blood flow through my veins, and I smell the daffodils. Watch the buzzards flying high, and today the world will know that I'm the boy that flew paper wings. Water's flowing down below. Sorry for the fishes, wonder if they know. Wouldn't have the river if they didn't have rain. The storm cloud bridge driving me insane. When God made man, you know he made the sky. Birds have wings, then so can I. You don't see me when the day is through. One way or another, I got my wings too. I put on my paper wings, and I'll climb up on that hill. Feel the blood flow through my veins, and I smell the daffodils. boy that flew on paper wings.
I'm sorry, I know it's been a little while since we talked out loud. I know there's ways to change strange things I say. There's been time, we're different now. No matter what you say or do, I find myself stuck back on you. It's different every time. There's peace of mind I only find with you and I. Everything just came in when I'd be gone. When you need to be too much was on my mind. And then I'd be back onto you when I was lost or feeling blue. It ain't right, I was out of line. No matter what you say or do, I find myself stuck back on you. It's different every time. This peace of mind I only find with you and I. And when I try to sleep, I just hear the words that I last spoke to you. And then I dream that we'd never hear the lies I said were true. No matter what you say or do, find myself stuck back on you. It's different every time. This peace of mind I only find with you and I. No matter what you say or do, I find myself stuck back on you. It's different every time. This peace of mind I only find with you and I. Thanks, everybody. That one was called Peace of Mind. The one we have coming up next is one we written by Isaac called Better Days.
Yeah.
It's a song about a time machine.
It's a little humid in here, so we got some tuning to do. But we're really excited about this project being a band full of great musicians and also writers. So the first three songs, and actually most of the songs on this set list are written by either Taylor, Isaac, or I. So the last one Taylor wrote. We made an arrangement for that one not too long ago. This next one is a song Isaac wrote, I think, a pretty long time ago, right? This one's...
Yeah, I think it was like 14, 15, 16 or something when I wrote this one.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a while, but...
Gonna turn the dial back about a quarter turn. Fire up the engines, watch the hours burn. Gonna stop to see an old friend on my way. I'm on a road trip, looking for a better day. I can picture someplace in my mind. Not sure if it's a place or if it's a time. But I've got all the time in this old world to think about it. There ain't no doubt about it. Do you ever wish you could go back and do it over again? Rewrite the story, come out with a different end. Do you ever wish there was something you could go back and say on a better day? Destination isn't quite what I thought. Best part of fishing isn't about what you caught. Found that old place that I was searching for, but I'm too late to be happy anymore. Well, the sugar ain't as sweet as it used to seem. The girl ain't as pretty as I see her in my dreams. This old place reminds me of why I left. Guess it was for the best. Hell, I know it was. Do you ever wish you could go back and do over again? Rewrite the story, come out with a different end. Oh, do you ever wish there was something you could go back and say on a better day? On a better day.
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 It's nice to have, at least one or two people clapping. We've done a couple live streams in our own house where it's just dead silence
We
afterward.
clap for ourselves.
Yeah, we clap for ourselves.
But this next one's called Still Love You More. It was written by our good friend Andy Brown.
Yep.
It's also on our upcoming album.
Yep. 1, 2,
Sorry, can we?
Oh, Isaac wasn't ready. He didn't have his capo off.
round table. All right, ready? 1, 2, ready, go. When you break down the stillness of night to me, when you come hold me right from behind, when I know if the morning cries out to me, I'll still love you more. When you sold me a life that was never meant to be, when you put your soul right next to mine, when you say a new kind of lie to me, I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more. I'll still love you more. your soul captured by me. I'll still love you more when you show me a life that was never meant to be. When you put your soul right next to mine. When you give me a new kind of life. I'll still love you more. 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 I'll still love you more.
All right. Beautiful, and how great to have you guys back again. The guys I'm talking about, those of you who are just joining us, is Taylor Shuck, Ellie Miller, and Isaac May, and they are Hillhouse. It's a neat occasion for them to be back here. They've got a new album. It's called Silence Turns to Sound, and it's evidently going to be released awfully soon. I bet you that at some point tonight they will squeeze in some information about how it is that you can get your grubby hands on a copy of it. But we'll get to that later on. But meanwhile, it's great to have you all here, and thank you all for joining us on Red Barn Radio. Those of you listening and watching us on YouTube Live, I see a number of folks. Kelly Butcher, hey, nice to see you. Kelly, and John Hall, and Mike, and Lucy, and great to have you guys with us. Hey, why don't we start by you all telling us the story of how Hillhouse came to be? I guess that's probably the best place to begin. Who wants to go with that?
Taylor, you got us into this mess.
I
so.
did. I'm sorry, y'all.
Well.
No, so the way it got started was, I guess it was 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago? Well, I mean, like, for me and Ellie.
Oh, for you
that
and
was
Ellie.
2 years ago.
You and I met, 2
Yeah,
years ago.
we were doing this Pine Mountain Settlement School recording for a friend of ours, Lily Lyons, and we were playing Scrabble in this cabin at the Pine Mountain Settlement School called Hillhouse. And we were playing Scrabble, and it was late at night, and we were like, hey, that would be a cool name for a band one day. And then we all became these side guys for a band called Pluck Yeah. And
That's everyone's reaction.
It's
Yeah, it
kinda
is.
true.
Drunk people love the title, the name though.
Yeah.
and
I'm
grandmothers.
sure.
But
Right.
but we all started this group chat called Exasperated Instrumentalists because we were all side guys and exasperated, and we decided that we wanted to play some of our own material, and we got together on a cold July afternoon.
Cold
January.
Oh,
All the months are running together. Cold January afternoon.
I was trying to
We
figure
all
out
got
what state were
together.
you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the state, but
Not a sober state, apparently.
I'm sober. Anyways, we got together in January. We started playing together more and more, and then it became a band.
Well, all right. It's funny. I don't remember that story from the last time we chatted, because some of it feels very new to me, especially the cold June afternoon. I don't remember that part of the story at all.
It was January.
And so Taylor or Isaac or Ellie, any of you can address this. How did your sound get shaped? Did you come together with an idea of sort of the kind of band you wanted to be? Did you all decide you wanted to have a strong vocal element? Did you decide you wanted to be sort of like fill in the blank?
It was a yes and no. Yeah. So the band Pluck Yeah we played with was more sort of a jam band, and we played in loud bars, and we all hurt at the end of the gigs, and that was where the exasperation came from. Was we were very, and my hand would hurt for days after these gigs, and so we wanted to play. The one thing was we wanted to play something more sort of N-word, a little quieter, a little more something we could really think through. And so we got together and did a video, which I think is still up on our website, of us playing June Apple, and it was like our first or second take, and we're like, wow, this is what we were looking for. We all were just like really happy with that. And so it started with that, and shortly thereafter we got a gig at a local brewery, and at that point we didn't have enough material, so we played traditional bluegrass songs that we'd all played for years, and we all realized that's not what we wanted to be doing. So we'd all written material independently, and we started looping that in, And so we had that core of idea. We wanted to be arranged, really think about arrangements and dynamics and bringing in our own material. And so over the course of the, a couple dozen gigs, we sort of found what that meant for us.
So one of the challenging parts of having a band that arranges things is that you need to have time to do the arranging. Did you guys have that?
Absolutely. We pretty much got together at least once a week.
Every
and then,
Monday,
yeah,
5
and
hours.
We would have, and then we had a gig that would happen fairly regularly. And that's where we would hash stuff out. We would try out brand new songs. We're doing a Cluck Old Hen at the end of this set. And that was something we came up with on the fly. We needed an extra song. Let's do something upbeat and energetic. And let's try adding this and adding that. And so some of it would, because we hang out a lot together and know each other well, and we try to all listen to each other. Sometimes arrangements come up on the fly. And even in the songs we just played, it may vary a little from what we recorded or what we worked up.
Do you feel like you spent more time arranging the vocals or arranging the instrumentation? You're all, pretty talented with your instruments and vocally, but I always hear folks say, it's the vocal piece that you really want to.
I'd say we could probably work more on our vocals.
Yeah, we've always talked about that, how we're always hired as instrumentalists, and being like primary vocalists in a group was kind of new to us. We're like, well, we obviously have to sing if we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So we are all still learning how to use our voices well, and as we've played together and all being like lead vocalists in Hillhouse, I think we've all really learned a lot.
So are you learning
singing.
just from each other about singing, or have you actually have any of the three of you gotten some actual sort of vocal training and advice about singing?
Well, Taylor used to sing in choir, right?
I used to sing in choir, but that was a completely different thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not lead
different, but-
vocals.
I grew up singing bluegrass songs around drunk old men, so no. You could call that some sort
Yeah.
of training.
I think
Yeah,
for a
I've
lot of
not
us,
had
it
any.
came. I know I'm personally still thinking about taking vocal lessons. I'd love to, but
Yeah, me too.
I think we were all kind of learning on the fly. I think learning on stage was a great tool for us a lot of times, and in the recording studio.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I remember one particular gig where Taylor and Ellie both were feeling under the weather, and we did a 3-hour gig, and I sang the whole show. And I was like,
I think
can't
we
do
all
that.
did that, right?
yeah, at some point we've all really had to take more of the lead. And I remember I'm like, I can't do that. And if I'm going to, here's what I could do to help with that.
Yeah, right. I think folks who use their voice a ton, whether they're broadcasters or singers, whatever it is that they do, teachers, a lot of teachers, say the same thing. But hydrate, of course.
Yep.
And then learn how to use your voice.
Absolutely.
Or don't at your own peril.
Well, we do hydrate.
Well, good. Yeah,
We use this lovely piece of merchandise
Well,
here.
this is,
Ale 8,
is this
Great.
an advertisement?
Water of Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right.
If they want it to be, absolutely.
That's right. Well, you're supposed to do it without caffeine as well. Hey, let's talk about this. And Ellie, maybe I'll start. You can start this off. I'd really like to hear each of you speak a little bit about some of your musical heroes. And if you don't want to call them heroes, if you just want to call them influences, that's fine. But I'd be interested to know, when you got around to finding out what sound you were going to have, who are some of the players maybe that you looked to or felt that you wanted to emulate?
And so within Hillhouse, one of my favorite vocalists is Sarah Jarosz. I love her voice, and I love her songwriting too. So I think her style was something I always looked to when I was writing for Hillhouse. And vocally, like I said, one of my favorite vocalists. And let's see, one of my my favorite artists of all time is Joni Mitchell. And I take so much inspiration from her. I mean, I'm sure all musicians should and probably do. But yeah, and also probably one of my favorite fiddle players, I love Stewart Duncan. Yeah, so his ability to be in that bluegrass context but be just smooth like butter, I love that.
He's kind of the king, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, right. And he plays a lot with
yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
All those awesome solos on her albums, those
Yeah.
are all him.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, those are some good ones. Hey, what about you, Isaac?
It's bounced all over the map. I grew up as a mandolin player, although with Hillhouse I primarily play guitar. So Sam Bush was always a big influence on me and a lot of the traditional mandolin influences. But through Hillhouse, I'd say a lot of the more modern bluegrass bands that got tired of playing traditional bluegrass are definitely a point of influence. Like Nickel Creek is one that immediately comes to mind, and some newer bands like Lonely Heartstring Band. And the big thing was just thinking about dynamics and even lyrical content, because a lot of bluegrass songs are about drinking and women, and and I don't know. I felt like there were lyrically there was more to be said. So
Is there something wrong with those things that you were talking about?
I'll leave that up to you to decide, Brad.
Okay.
That's. But yeah, so it's but I lyrically I love Guy Clark. Tim O'Brien, the way he approaches music really appeals to me. But
What about it?
He's a grasser that got tired of grass, and I love anybody that's been through that situation. But he's very rhythmic in his thinking. He has really interesting melodies and chord progressions, and his voice, while not traditionally great, he knows how to use it. And I don't have a very great voice, but learning how to use it, that kind of is a big thing for me.
There are times when he sounds. You listen to him sing, and he sounds like Glenn Campbell, and just some of
very
those amazing singers, and then add to that, funny as hell.
Absolutely.
And you're funny.
And as a kid, there's a picture of me when I was 9 or 10. The first time I met him, I looked exactly like him, which was kind of funny. The first time I met him, we even had the same color shirt on, the same glasses. So there's a little bit of that
he's a redhead too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. That's right. All right, Taylor, your turn.
All right. Oh.
No, you have to answer the question.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
the
it's your
question.
turn to
Yeah, sorry,
answer
I
that
thought
same
you meant a
question.
different question.
Yeah.
No, I think the biggest inspirations for me growing up, my very first show that I ever saw was Bela Fleck, Casey Dreesen, and Brian Sutton at the Ryman, and getting to see how they got to interact with each other. I think just having that kind of communication with musicians and being able to fully portray a musical idea and explore that musical idea was just something that was so magical to me. And then further on, because Bela is mostly known for his instrumental work, which I love. I love most of his work. Actually, I think all of it. But listening to people like Daryl Scott's lyrics and Bob Dylan's lyrics and Joni Mitchell's lyrics, and just approach to music was all just so magnificent. Really, it was just all about that language and that communication, and really getting across more than just a story or a concept. It was getting across the emotion as well.
Yeah. You all were talking earlier on about the experience of playing, of doing the the folk home concerts, right?
Yeah.
And with the Pluckers, actually. Yeah. So you did the folk home concerts, live streams, and I would really love to hear you talk a little bit more about that experience.
Oh, that was kind of fun. It was really interesting to have to do an online festival. It took away some of the community aspect of it, but in a way it was really validating to see the community still there despite the physical distance and all the support behind it. It was a big challenge because we did it in mine and Isaac's living room, and it was a challenge finding a way to make that small space look like a stage.
Did Isaac provide the necessary bandwidth?
Isaac always provides all the equipment and everything. He is our sound guy and lighting guy and recording, and he's our mixing engineer.
So did you all know who was watching, and were you paying attention to a message board and interacting with folks as they watched?
We tried. I had one on my phone. And it would be a little bit delayed, but we'd still. A lot of times I would say we did pretty good.
I'd say that's a part that was actually kind of fun about it, is we were able to see, people were able to talk to us during the middle of our set, which usually is frowned upon at most live concerts, though a lot we play at, that happened. But it was cool to because they could request songs in the middle of our songs, or just ask random questions. And as the viewers can't see, we have a giant TV with all the chat of everyone right now, which to me is really cool. So my grandmother calling in, and
your mother.
Yeah.
Her too. And that's, I don't know, I thought that part was really cool.
Look at that, and Blakely's even joined us.
Oh, Blakely.
Yeah, hey, Blakely.
Yeah, so that strikes us as an interesting element too. We think about what have we learned during this time. Teachers have certainly learned a lot about what it means to teach from a distance, and performers also have learned something, and that aspect of performance is kind of fascinating, and it doesn't strike me as impossible for venues to set up something for bands on the stage that people can access with an app. And it could be horribly distracting. But on the other hand, if you got used to it, it could also become a new and kind of exciting way to actually interact with the people who are out there.
I would enjoy that. I think that would be a really cool addition.
Well, I think that, and that's why we're adding it here too. And it's also because we don't have an audience right now, but we also think it's an exciting sort of new approach.
And the plus side, people can use emojis, which is hard to do without the screen. So
That's
I've
right.
never made my eyes turn into hearts with the thumbs up. It's a challenge.
Hey, folks, I'm talking to Hillhouse, and we're going to get back to the music now. We'll join them later on to talk about all kinds of other things. Welcome back, Hillhouse.
We're going to tune real fast because we have a song that I wrote called Don't Leave the Keys coming up. Ready? I think it's time to change the locks on the front door. I don't want you around anymore. I know it's time for something new. There's nothing left for me and you. Starter homes aren't really the end goal. It's more of a little stepping stone. Got places to see and people to meet, so I'll do it all alone. Don't leave the keys, I ain't coming home. No, I ain't coming home. I think we're gonna have to spend some time apart. You know secrets I keep camouflaged. But whatever happens, our past won't stray. 'Cause you're in my heart while I look for better days. It's not that I don't love you anymore. The car's on fire, so I'm out the door. Try to save me, but it'd probably be forced. So I'll do it all alone. Don't leave the keys, I ain't coming home. No, I ain't coming home. You think we work okay, but I've seen better in a divorced man's old ways. Try to make things fit that ain't there. Fitting circles into square homes leaves the corners bare. It leaves the corners bare. It leaves the corners bare. I think it's time to change the locks on the front door. I don't want you around anymore. I know it's time for something new. There's nothing left for me and you. Starter homes aren't really the end goal. It's more of a little stepping stone. Got places to see and people to meet, so I'll do it all alone. Don't leave the keys, I ain't coming home. No, I ain't coming home. I ain't coming home. No, I ain't coming home. No, I'm never home.
right, you guys. Listening from Toronto. Oh my goodness. Hello. That's amazing. Ellie, this is Isaac's mother. Your father will play bass for food. Oh, Ellie, this is your father. I will play bass for food. Oh my
My mom was
goodness.
just
Hey,
reminding
Dad. My dad is a bass player, guys. Great bass player. There we go. We'll play bass for food. Well, Dad.
I might have gotten a little bit distracted reading the screen.
Maybe a little bit, yeah, but.
Just so you know, Monty. The next song's one that Isaac wrote. It's going to be called Hung Up on Someone Else. Ellie's going to be the one singing it.
So yeah, I was remarking to you, Brad, about not writing songs about whiskey and women. Well, this song's about a woman, and
A women?
It's about a women.
about a woman, and but the one thing I'll say is I tried to approach this in a slightly different way than most. Like woman makes me sad, woman makes me mad. I was trying not to write another one of those.
He used minor chords
I used
instead of
minor
major
chords.
chords.
And also, I wrote this while in my car on the way to a gig, and so I didn't have an instrument, so I was like tapping it out on my steering column, and so it made me approach it in a very different way. And somehow Ellie ended up singing the song, and it's been getting sassy over here. This was I'm pretty proud of the way this one's turned out.
Look at where I find myself, opening to someone else. I didn't mean to tell no lies. I thought I figured out last time, but not all reasons have a rhyme. So I guess I'll just open up. I had a dream of you last night. Guess I took it as a sign. Ooh, count my heart an absentee, and cut me, babe, and I won't bleed. Things are easier that way. I hope that we don't fall in love. That's not just what I'm thinking of. I just wanna hold your hand. Wish I never knew your name, but now you're living in my brain. I can't blame you, Lord knows I can't blame myself. If I wasn't hung up on you, babe, I'd be hung up on someone else. Guess I'm not the loving kind, but I don't find it so sublime. I just don't wanna be alone. I wouldn't mind to settle down, get the hell out of this town. What is it you wanna say? I don't mean to make things hard. It's tough to feel through all these scars. Woo, I'm making things up as I go. I hope that you enjoy the show. This is really who I am. I should have waited for my turn. Consider it a lesson learned. What is it you wanna say? I'm sorry for how much I talk. I hope I didn't piss you off. Thank you for listening, that's all I've got to say. Saying all this out loud probably makes me sound insane. Thank you.
We like to tune a whole lot and do different tunings. So this is another one that's going to be on our album that is called Over the Bridge to Madison. Also written by our good friend Andy Brown, played bass on the album. Yeah, I think it's about going over the bridge to Madison, most likely.
Might be. Just might. All right. Hold on. Are we good?
Y'all hang with us for just a second. All these weather changes are. Our wood does not like these weather changes.
My drumhead doesn't either.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Ready? 1,
Nice.
Yeah.
Red Barn Radio is brought to you with the help of Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta. They're on Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, and they are also on Facebook. AccuPrint provides our printing, design, and fulfillment. They're online at accuprint.us. And now welcome back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. Red Barn Radio comes to you live on all our social media platforms from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back Hillhouse to the Red Barn stage.
Yep. You've gone to New York City, and I can't follow through. I'll be just another memory of what you used to do. You've gone to New York City. You gotta be free, so I'll try to make every moment cling until you leave. You gotta do what's gotta be done. Sometimes all that means you gotta move on. It's like a tapestry of choices right and wrong. So follow your heart to the morning sun. But you're gone to New York City, and I can't follow through. I'll be just another memory of what you used to do. You've gone to New York City. You gotta be free, so I'll try to make every moment cling until you leave. Forgiven words bring light to the dark. Sometimes all you need is that little spark. Just like a car that struggles to start. Thanks for turning over my broke down heart. But you're gone to New York City, and I can't follow through. I'll be just another memory of what you used to do. You've gone to New York City. You gotta be free, so I'll try to make every moment cling until you leave. If I had wings, I'd fly so high. See how the crow sees and go even higher. Till I could see everything invisible to me. Each one of us setting each other free. But you're gone to New York City, and I can't follow through. I'll be just another memory of what you used to do. You've gone to New York City. You gotta be free, so I'll try to make every moment cling until you leave. Mark, just so you know, no, Louisville is not 8 more miles from New York City. It's about 1,000 miles away from New York City. So, unfortunately, that's not gonna be happening tonight.
You're talking about 8 more miles?
Yep.
That's a song request, but sorry.
We have to pre-submit our song request, so we can't do that one. Sorry about your luck.
All right, so this next song is another one that's on our album, and it's actually where the namesake of the album comes from. It's one of the lines in the song. And now I'm realizing, not writing a song about women, I'm the biggest hypocrite on earth, because here's another song about a woman, and I don't have any excuses this time. It's just...
Actually, I think the song before, this song, the next song, and the song after that.
Oh, jeez. We're a sorry bunch. All right, but this one's called This Song. Here we go. Well, I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Couldn't write it in a letter, couldn't tell you on the phone. Well, I don't mind talking, but I guess I'd rather sing. I mean, I know you're bound to listen when you hear the banjo strings. Don't you cry, little darling, 'cause you know you're not lame. 'Cause you can't feel the fire until you found the flame. Sometimes the nights get lonely, and sometimes you feel the pain. But the ocean needs the river like the river needs the rain. I wouldn't turn back the hours even if I could. 'Cause the times we had together, oh, you know those times are good. I ain't saying it's been easy, 'cause you know that I can't lie. I'd rather think about the good times than sit around and cry. Well, every story has an ending, like every poem has a rhyme. The ending of our story doesn't mean the end of mine. I'll be fine, little darling, when the sun comes back around. I will be fine, little darling, when the silence turns to sound. So I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Couldn't write it in a letter, couldn't tell you on the phone. Well, I don't mind talking, but I guess I'd rather sing. And I know you're bound to listen when you hear the banjo strings. So I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Yeah, I hope you don't mind that I wrote you this song. Thank you all. Oh, looks like I'm back up. This is another one written by our good friend, former bass player, great all-around songwriter and guy. And he was actually, I think, on Red Barn last week with his current band, the Cowhands.
Shout out to the Kentucky
Shout out
Cowhands
to
real
Kentucky
fast.
Cowhands.
Our sibling band by virtue of having same people in it.
Yeah, this one's called Westbound Tomorrow. I've taken over singing it since Andy's not around, and I've been having a lot of fun with doing this one. If I'm gonna go my way, then I'm gonna take my time, headed down to the station, so I can find some peace of mind. I'm gonna say goodbye to the seeds I've sown, a mom and a man and a girl I've known for years. I need to feel her tears, 'cause I'll be westbound tomorrow, and breaking from the small town grind, running those lines like a desperado, hunting for a dime. Oh, I hope that's what I'll find. No reason ain't worth not to try. If I could see past tomorrow, I'll more than fade away. I'll just become another body, filling up a stranger's dream. Well, I can't see past the distance, but I know these hands of mine, and they'll build something beautiful that'll stand the test of time. Oh, wouldn't that be fine? 'Cause I'll be westbound tomorrow, breaking from a small town grind, running those lines like a desperado, hunting for a dime. Oh, I hope that's what I'll find. No reason ain't worth not to try. 'Cause I'll be westbound. I'll be westbound tomorrow. Breaking from a small town grind. Running those lines like a desperado. Hunting for a dime. And I hope that's what I'll find. No reason ain't worth not to try. 'Cause I'll be westbound tomorrow.
Hey, wait a minute. That song ended too early. It's beautiful. I felt that way about a lot of the songs.
Well, let's see, is there a
played
third
tonight.
verse that I've forgotten?
We could write one.
Do another one now. No, that was great. Really, really enjoyed it. Sounds terrific, you guys. Hey, Taylor, before the show, I was saying to you that I thought I might ask some thought questions.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, I decided to pull this from the script. But then when two of the three of you said Joni Mitchell was had a big influence on you, had a big impact on you musically, I decided to bring the question back in.
Okay.
So the question's about choices, and it seems that musicians who grow and progress often have to make difficult choices. Joni Mitchell seems to me like a perfect example of that artist who was never afraid to follow, sort of follow her heart when it came to her music. And she explored so many different kinds of things. And so I'm wondering if you might be able to talk about that a little bit yourself, the role of choices in your musical lives. And this is for all three of you, not just Joni Mitchell lovers. Isaac, you can be included in this as well.
I love Joni Mitchell too. I just forgot about her.
Oh, okay. You did what about her? I was wondering if you all could talk a little bit about some of the choices that you've made in your music lives. I know you're all fairly young, but I'm thinking about gigs chosen, teachers and schooling, relationships, instruments, producers, management, all the kinds of things that you need to think about in order to do what you do at even a semi-professional level. Can any of you start us off on that? Some of the choices that you've made and what direction that sets you in.
Yeah, I think I can. And also, I'll actually use a quote from one of my songs, which I botched while we were singing it. Life's just a tapestry of choices, right and wrong. So I think being a musician especially, you have to make a lot of hard choices. Because like when I was talking about my inspirations, the thing that made me so inspired to try to follow in their footsteps was how they emotionally communicated. So you have these mixes of business decisions and emotional decisions. And I think taking the choice to even try to do our own thing together was a really great time for me personally, because it taught me so much about how to do my own songs, how to collaborate with people more effectively, and how to allow yourself to be vulnerable while still being also professional and keeping all of that going. And we've also learned a lot on choices about how to find where you want to record, the spaces you want to go in, how to stick to your guns, and if something doesn't feel right necessarily, always trying to go your own path. And I think that's the most important part of it, is always trying to do what's right for yourself and then for your music.
Yeah, so I guess wise people tell us that there really aren't necessarily bad choices.
Yeah.
That the only real bad choice is making no choice.
Exactly.
So how about you, Isaac? Did you have any thought on particular choices along your way? I mean, I know, for instance, you made a choice early on after you finished high school not to pursue sort of a traditional, I guess, liberal arts education, in the sense that you were going to go to a school where really the main focus was music.
Yeah, so I was homeschooled my entire life, and at the age of 13, I had the opportunity to go through it was a technical college based out of Eastern Kentucky called the Kentucky School for Bluegrass and Traditional Music, and they focused on bluegrass music, and it also talked about recording and songwriting and those things. And so after that, even as I got to the age where I would look at going back to college, and I decided that wasn't for me, and I decided to sort of dive in both feet first, and because I also do. Outside of music, I do recording stuff and live sound engineering, and so I sort of worked in the production end of things. And interestingly enough, that was just something I did for fun. But as we were creating our own band, so many times you show up and there's no sound system, or there's no sound guy, or a broken sound system. And so many times that fell upon me, and that was a choice that I didn't know was going to lead to that. But it came in really handy. And I say if I went the traditional route of being only a performer, I probably wouldn't have picked up those things. But it was being a small starting out band, like that was, it saved our butts many times.
Ellie, you get to answer this question third, which means you should have the best answer. You've had the most opportunity to reflect.
Yeah, that's true. I think Taylor spoke really well about being true to your own artistry. And it's hard to make some choices. Something that the three of us have always talked about is how, I think, probably artists, but as musicians, this is how we've seen it, that we have such close community with our fellow artists in our city. We have close relationships with those people, and it seems like a more intimate relationship than maybe any other professional relationship, but maybe I just don't have any other experience. But it feels like a very profound connection that we have with other musicians and what it's like to have that career. It's a very emotional career, and yeah, it's
talk about that. Emotional in the sense that there are just a lot of ups and downs, that it's financially challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those things. And also just the medium itself. It's art we're trying to create. We're trying to put our voices out into the world, and that's exhausting sometimes and draining, but also worth it. That's why we chose to do this.
Would you say that, this is a question for all three of you, are you hard on yourselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm very hard.
And do you ever have to make choices that way to sort of let go of things and sort of whatever, surrender to someone else's will in the band, for instance?
I think having understanding and good bandmates helps that a lot, because when you're being too hard on yourself, you got two people there looking out for you saying, hey, let's try this, or you're being too hard on yourself. Or so having an equal support structure, I think that's something that, speaking personally, I feel very fortunate to have, because I know not all bands have that. Because not only they're my bandmates, they're two of my best friends. And so, and that even comes into sort of a little bit of a tangent here, but like knowing each other that well really helps in the music, because there was a time in one of the songs, Taylor's banjo was going out of tune, and I'm paying attention, like, okay, he's going to need me to take over something. Or I noticed Ellie went in a direction that she wasn't intending, but she found a way out that was absolutely incredible. And so that comes from, I don't know, having that connection helps with the music. And I think that's a really lucky thing to have, and it makes those choices easier when you have to make the hard choice, when you are being hard on yourself, when your blind spots come up.
Except that it wouldn't really take a friend just to see a banjo go out of tune.
No, but it might take a friend to try to support that banjo going out of tune.
Yeah,
as we all know, banjo's going out of tune.
That was a good out of that tune.
Yeah.
That was very, very nicely done. Okay, so on this idea of choices and decisions, what decisions were involved in this? And I'm holding up Silence Turns to Sound, which is the new Hillhouse CD. Are you all excited to have this out?
We are.
And so what were some challenges in getting that together?
We never meant to record a CD. We were going to record an EP for booking purposes. And the person on there, you can see it says produced by Britt and Patrick Morgan. He was like, well, you all are like writing a lot of songs really fast and like really starting to build a cohesive sound. Why don't you all go for an album? And then we said, well, why don't we? And that was the choice that kind of got us to where we decided to take this a little bit more seriously.
The most surefire way to find out you're not ready to record an album is to try to record an album.
But we did well.
Basically we recorded an entire album, realized that we weren't happy with where it was at, because some of these songs we'd written we practiced one day and we took the studio
The day
next.
before.
Yeah, and through all of this, we're like, we found the ideas we liked, and then realized we wanted to try this again. So between the time of finding a studio and figuring out the logistics of it, we spent the next 2 or 3 months and rehearsing the hell out of the album. And so when we went to the studio, we cut 10 songs in one day, whereas we were cutting maybe a song a day before. And yeah, it was interesting because and then we had issues in the post-production, and there was a lot of, it was an interesting process.
Yeah, it sounds exhausting.
Very much so.
And so the advice that you might offer up to new players out there who are practicing, getting back to practicing now and starting to think about, how exciting it would be to put together either an EP or a CD, what kinds of advice can you offer?
I would say trust your intuition. I think there were a lot of situations that we got into where we were like, okay, this doesn't feel quite right, but it sounds like the right thing to do, or it's being, we were told it's the right thing to do, or we were given certain advice, and then we should have probably followed our gut in a couple situations. So I think really follow your gut in that, and trust your own opinion. Even if you're an up-and-coming artist, you're an emerging artist, you're not sure how to navigate that world, I think you have to give yourself a lot more credit than I think most artists do in their own intuition of what right choices to make for yourself and for your project.
Yeah. You want to add to that, Taylor or Isaac? Either of you?
I would also like to say don't try to do it all in a day. Like, we did pretty well with it, but do take your time. It's more expensive to take your time, but you're gonna feel so much better, and there's gonna be so much less burnout, I think.
And practice your album over and over and over and over again. We practiced it with only singing, practiced it without singing. We practiced them slow and too fast, and found the exact tempos. And I think that's, because I think the last time we were on here back in October, we were 3 or 4 days away from going down recording the album. And if you looked at us before we started practicing for the album, we were a much better band. So even if the album doesn't turn out great or you don't do the album, you are going to figure stuff out along the way. And so very deliberate practicing. Don't just kind of goof around. It's like, let's try this. Very, very deliberate practice is the best favor you can do yourself.
You ever had the experience of over-practicing things?
No.
No, not you.
No. I think there's times we
have.
probably overthought it and tried to add stuff to it a little too much. And I think just coming back to it the next day helps. And realizing when you're getting frustrated, if you're frustrated with it, you're not going to be productive. So in that way, maybe yes. But as far as, I never regret playing it one more time.
In our last minute or so, would you mind talking a little bit about some of the other things that you guys have going on in your lives musically, or what would the opposite be, just normally?
I think, this would be a good time to talk about that. I guess it's also a good time to mention why we're all kind of talking about this. We're kind of all disbanding this thing. It's going to keep going on probably as a recording project. But we all have different directions that we want to explore. Like for me personally, I'm now a member of Mama Said String Band, and I'm going to be keeping the Hillhouse name going kind of as an acoustic King Crimson is my idea right now, but we'll see.
I think for me, some things came up in my life that made me want to take a step away from pursuing music professionally for a while and sort of reassess. Although this all kind of came up during COVID, and this is the first actual show we've played in a while, and doing this made me, I'd been doubtful about, where is my place in music? And playing this show makes me realize, okay, this is where I need to be. I need some time to figure some things out and find out where I stand. But so I in the interim, like I said, I'm doing some recording work. I have several friends that are wanting to record solo albums. I'll be recording a solo album, and I want to focus more on my writing as well, because that's something that's really been important to me and I've been exploring lately. So
yeah, neat. And Ellie, do you also do some teaching?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. And
I'm a private teacher.
Oh, all right. You do a lot of that?
Yeah, that's my source of income right now.
Right.
I was lucky enough to maintain my studio students during COVID so far. I'm teaching over Skype and FaceTime and stuff like that.
And how has that gone?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
There's something about communicating over virtually that, like, there's some things that I have to put so much more into words and less, I think, rather than body language or whatever it is, and I can't play with the student, so I have to put a lot of energy into speaking well and giving them an idea across their phone, their iPad, and these kids are just like getting distracted. They're in their own bedrooms. Like it's not easy, but I'm thankful that I can still teach. So.
Well, yeah, Ellie, I've heard some teachers talk about distance teaching, remote teaching, and one thing I've heard them say, which I find really fascinating, is that there are certain kids who have really thrived in a distance environment, and often those were kids who struggled in the classroom because there was a social tension, or maybe just the tension being face to face, and a certain comfort zone in having a little bit of distance. Have you found that with any of your students?
I have had a couple students that have reacted that way, where the lessons were going super well in person, and then they not going well virtually, and vice versa.
Okay, gotcha.
But that's maybe just a couple students that happened to. Generally, everybody transitioned pretty well.
But back to the original question that these guys fielded, where do you want to say anything there about what your plans are?
Yeah, well, I definitely it is a really like we were talking about choices. It's a very difficult choice to disband this project or rethink the project. Isaac and I are going our own way. Taylor's rethinking the project. It was a really difficult choice to make, but like you were saying, making difficult choices, making sure that you go for what feels right to you, following your gut, all of those things. So it was hard, but it was the right choice. For me, I'm doing teaching. I'm trying to get back into my classical playing. So I play. Hopefully Orchestra Enigmatic comes back, but that's an orchestra that does new works by local composers, or actually national composers too. So they do new music.
Based in Louisville?
Based in Louisville.
Oh,
Orchestra
right.
Enigmatic. Yeah, very cool. So I'm sure once we can do some kind of performance safely, that will happen again. And then I am also starting my own solo project. So I'm continuing to write. I'm taking it a direction away from bluegrass, folk, Americana, and Taylor is inspired by King Crimson, kind of going that direction. But I think I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I want to be really experimental with it. So that project is called Ellie Ruth. It's me, and my friend Chris plays cello with me, and that's what it is so far. We'll see what happens.
Would that be Chris Cup?
Chris Cup, that's Chris Cup.
Very nice.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will watch and listen with great interest. You guys bring so much wonderful music to our ears. We have enjoyed having you on the show now twice, and look forward to what comes next. It's an exciting time for you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's welcome them back, folks. It's Hillhouse on Red Barn Radio.
I wish there's more time for us to catch a spark, or maybe a distance that wasn't so far apart. I wish I had a chance to do everything. I'm booking a one-way ticket to better memory. I'm just booking a one-way ticket to better memory. Oh Lord. And if I had 2 extra hours, I would drive through the night. I would be by your side just so you wouldn't go to bed lonely. If I had 2 extra hours, maybe things could have worked out. I bet there'd be less doubt, and you could come around, and I could come around. I never got the chance to apologize, 'cause the way that I treated you wasn't quite right. Time makes us fonder of the years we got, but memories are sweeter when they're far off. I said now memories are sweeter when they're so far off. And if I had 2 extra hours, I would drive through the night. I would be by your side just so you wouldn't go to bed lonely. If I had 2 extra hours, maybe things could have worked out. I bet there'd be less doubt, and you could come around, and I could come around. Wish I could fund one last trip up north. We make a difference, put the cart behind the horse. Even if it's just one chance to say goodbye. But sometimes explanations are a lullaby. Sometimes explanations are a lullaby. And if I had 2 extra hours, I would drive through the night. I would be by your side just so you wouldn't go to bed lonely. If I had 2 extra hours, maybe things could have worked out. I bet there'd be less to doubt. And you could come around and I could come around. You could come around and I could come around. Thanks. That was a song called 2 Extra Hours, also on that album. And the next one is one that we kind of all wrote together, I guess about a month ago, 2 months ago now. Time's blurred together with COVID. But it's called A Theory About Chaos.
It's our only song about cocaine. Well, mentions cocaine. It's not about cocaine.
Mentions cocaine.
Money makes me crazy, pretty boys make me cry. Whiskey makes me lonely, and cocaine makes me high. Oh, I've got a theory about chaos. Do I recall correctly? Do I put up a fight? I'll blow out your candle, babe, and you'll blow out my gaslight. Oh, I've got a theory about chaos. Well, I definitely want to talk about that album coming out, because even though we are all going our separate ways, doing our thing, we are all really proud of this album and really excited about it.
For us leaving.
The one and only. It makes it really special, I guess, you know. So yeah, the album is set to come out.
July 10th. It was originally going to be June 26th, but due to the pandemic and wanting to take a week to really allow everyone to sit with everything going on in this nation, we decided to push it back to after July 4th, and the closest date was July 10th. So
The album will be available everywhere.
Everywhere.
Spotify,
Yeah.
iTunes, Apple Music, all
TikTok.
that stuff. Actually, yeah, it will be on TikTok, surprisingly.
All right.
We also have physical copies. You can get them at mine and Isaac's house. We live behind the Kroger.
Just any Kroger will be there. But no, you can go to hillhouseband.com/album. That'll have links to everything and contact information where you can find a little bit of everything. And it's very exciting to finally have this out because it's been, I guess, really a year in the making at this point.
Exactly a year, yeah.
Like I said, we were just going to record it the last time we were here, and so it feels very fitting to, I don't know, it's very serendipitous
It's like
to
our
be,
year
to be back.
anniversary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
And so as we're ending nearing the end of our set, we're going to be taking it out on a traditional tune.
covers.
Yeah, we've got a couple of covers. We put all our covers at the end of the set. I just want to say it's so great to be back at Red Barn. It definitely feels like a home, and it's bittersweet. This show is for sure. And like I wish we could have other people in the room with us right now to share it, but having it online is nice. And I know having this is going to be our last show, really. And it's I know it's been really sad thinking through this, and I realize this is something I'll think back on for the rest of my life for sure. This is like I think a musical peak, and something I can the proudest thing I've ever been a part of. So yeah, it's definitely bittersweet. But with that, we're gonna pick it up a little bit. One called "Cluck Old Hen." She lays eggs for the railroad man. Sometimes 8, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad man. Gold hen, cook and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Gold hen, cook and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. Had an old hen, she had a wooden leg. Best old hen that ever laid an egg. Laid more eggs than a hen at the barn. Another big old wick, they wouldn't do me any harm. Thinking, cook old hen, cook and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cook old hen, cook and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad man. Sometimes 8, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad man. Cook old hen, cook and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cook old hen, cook and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad man. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2. That's enough for the whole damn crew. Singing, cook old hen, cook and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cook old hen, cook and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cook old hen, cook and sing. Ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cook old hen, cook and squall. Ain't laid an egg since way last fall. Thank you.
We would like to thank Hillhouse for being with us. We would like to thank Hillhouse for being with us this evening. We also thank our volunteers and staff for their help in making our production happen each week. We give a very special thanks to Nick Lazaroff for his production photography. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram Live, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Performance Hall at Arts Place, here in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests in our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Red Barn Radio, roots, music, Southern style. On the 24th of June, we've got Brad Heller coming back to the Red Barn stage. Praise for his 2019 album, The Sentence, abounds. Indie Pulse Music Magazine says, The Sentence fires on all cylinders from start to finish. Join us on June 24 for Brad Heller and his band, The Fustics, on Red Barn Radio. Hey now, let's give it up one more time for Hillhouse on Red Barn.
Before we go into this next song, I can't not acknowledge this. This is one of the great things about having live chat in front of you, because you don't get this at a regular show. The most recent comment, love this all-female band, inclusion. I like to think that, can we get a close-up on the beard here, maybe? Or maybe that they're not getting...
I think there's masculine and feminine energy in every single one
You know
of
what,
us.
that's beautiful, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor.
Plug out. No, this has been a lot of fun. We're going to take you out on a fun cover that we like doing. Ellie's going to sing this one, and this one's a whole lot of fun. It's called I'm on Fire.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home, or did he go and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is he good to you? And does he do for you the things that I do? I could take you higher. Oh, I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and down, and put a 6-inch valley through the middle of my skull. At night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head. And you could cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull, and put a 6-inch valley through the middle of my skull. At night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head. Could cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull, and put a 6-inch valley through the middle of my skull. At night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head, and you could cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Hey, yeah. Oh, I'm on fire. Oh, I'm on fire. Oh, I'm on fire.
All right. Woo! Well, that's all from Red Barn Radio for this week. You can see and hear us worldwide as we stream live on the web on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram Live, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Be sure to check out all our social media for all updates to our upcoming schedule. While we're not producing a full schedule this month, we have a fantastic lineup of exciting artists coming your way starting July 1. And now, from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, it's our hope you have a great week and stay safe. We look forward to seeing you back next time on Red Barn Radio. Good night.